This video is going to be a little bit different than a lot of my other videos. It's a bit more serious, hence the face cam one-on-one. Normally you hear my voice and see some gameplay. Now you're seeing my face and hearing my voice. And more or less, quite a few months ago, I had an event go down with a YouTube channel called The Gamer. They used some of my footage in one of their videos, I copy-striked it down, and, well, there's a bunch of events that ensued following that. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what happened then, why I feel like it was wrong or how I was wronged, and how I feel they are continuing to do some sketchy stuff. Alright, so what happened? Well, more or less, as you guys probably know, I upload a lot of content on this channel, predominantly Fallout 4 content. A video popped up on a YouTube channel that actually has its own webpage, and a fairly large channel and website, that was called like the latest Fallout 5 rumors, or it was something along those lines. I think a speculation video of some sort. I don't remember the exact video, it's down now, but either way, it was using, I think, about a minute to 2 minutes of my footage from a video I uploaded called How to Overhaul the Institute. Some of you guys may have seen that video. It actually did really well, meaning it pops up towards the top of search results, which is probably how they got that video, but we'll get a bit more into that a little bit later. So I saw this and I was like, that's kind of annoying. They just used my video footage. They didn't put a source on screen like I do in my videos. I'll put like source from IGN, for example. Nor did they actually link me in the comments down below, which is another thing that I find acceptable. Total Biscuits used my footage in the past, and he put my channel link down below saying, hey, use footage from this guy. That's totally okay, I'm fine with that. In this case, The Gamer did neither of those. They went through the video and made it seem like they had kind of filmed that footage themselves and not really identifying that it's actually from me. Again, this was not a significant portion of the video. I think the original video was 7 minutes long, and this was about a minute to 2. The original video is gone, so I can't actually check how long it was, but think about 60 to maybe 90 seconds. So I went through YouTube's official channels, filed a copyright strike, it was approved by YouTube, and the video was taken down, and a strike on The Gamer's channel. It's important to distinguish here that copyright strikes are a pretty big deal on YouTube. If you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel is deleted forever, so getting one is, a pretty big deal. So following this, I immediately got an email from a paralegal from a company known as Valnet. Valnet was the parent company and owner of the YouTube channel The Gamer. They mentioned in this that they own The Gamer as well as a few other YouTube channels, and that they were looking at my copyright strike to see its validity, and they were trying to open up kind of a line of dialogue to hopefully get me to eventually retract that strike, or at least that's what it seemed like that email was all about. I was mostly okay with this, but there's one line in this email that really kind of ticked me off, and I'll kind of explain a little bit about that now. So in the email, exactly what they said is, we have a full-time staff of video editing that works on our channels. I work very closely to ensure our own copyright manners are respected, as well as those of third parties. So that last part really annoyed me, the respecting the copyright of third parties. This is a paralegal that hopefully knows somewhat about the copyright. Paralegals are typically not lawyers, but work very closely with lawyers and maybe have some qualifications in the law. And the reason this kind of annoyed me so much was she said she was protecting my copyright and overseeing or working closely with some of the people editing the videos to make sure copyright was protected. It wasn't like this was one mistake though. To actually get my video footage in their video and get it exported on their channel, a number of things must have occurred. First and foremost, you could almost assume, and this is all speculation, that they must have went onto YouTube, typed in Fallout 4 or something. Let's say Fallout 4 Institute, if they're looking for a clip of the Institute. Found my high-ranking video since that video performed well. So it was probably at the top of the search results, clicked on that video, used a third-party program to download that because you can't just download videos off of YouTube, then put that video that they used a third-party software to download in their timeline on their video, took off the audio because my voiceover would be on it, and then used that footage without ever crediting me for that. So with that whole process going down, I don't really see how she was trying to ensure my copyright was protected. It seems like they probably do this a lot with other videos. I just happen to be one of the content creators that caught onto it and got mad about it and filed a copyright strike. So either way, with that in mind, I actually ignored this email. I never responded to her. I wasn't open to discussion about retracting it at this time because I was kind of pissed. In the months preceding this, I actually had a few other channels steal some of my content and copyright strike those also, and one Facebook page actually just take one of my videos, cut it up, and put it on their Facebook page to get hundreds of thousands of views, all without crediting me. To be clear here, if they put source JuiceHead on the video, or said in the video, hey, this footage is from JuiceHead, or even in the description, just link to my channel, I would pretty much be okay. If you want to right now download this video and use it on yours and actually cite me or source me on it, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. I just want somewhat of a recognition for my work. I actually do use other people's footage in my videos from time to time. I always make an effort to put a source on screen and actually link their channel down below. So after this, again, I never actually responded to this email. I move on with life. I had school and other obligations obligations maintaining my YouTube channel, and then about a month passes and I get a second email, this one very different. Although the tone of that initial email from the paralegal was very open to discussion, or we're trying to figure out what happened here, the second email was way more aggressive. This time it was from a lawyer. Again, this is about 3 weeks after the first email, and thus 3 weeks after the copyright strike. I largely thought everything had moved on, but either way, this time around they said that I'm actually not allowed to make that copyright strike. I identified myself as the copyright owner of the video footage used, and they're saying that I'm not the copyright owner, and in fact Bethesda Game Studios is, because they own the copyright to Fallout 4, even though it was gameplay footage I recorded. And more or less, in their eyes, this made it so it was a false copyright strike and that I would now owe them damages for the time that video was down and not generating ad revenue, and I assumed they would want damages for the copyright strike on their channel. This was a very serious email. It was from a lawyer, it was from the company Valnet's general counsel, so it moved up the totem pole a little bit. And actually towards the end of the email, there was something very interesting included that more or less said, while we quantify damages, you have 90 minutes to dismiss the copyright strike. So I would have had to have retracted my copyright strike on that channel. Although, even if I do that, they're still going to be pursuing damages from me. That 90 minutes thing, really, I found quite odd because it seemed like it wanted to create a sense of urgency to get me to do this right now and not really question it. Although in reality, it kind of had the reverse effect. It made me question this email more and question the legitimacy. So I actually reached out to my network. I'm partnered with Omnia Media. And I said, hey, look, this thing happened to me. It's really sketchy and I'm weirded out by it. So to make a somewhat long story short, my network then actually told me that they dealt with this person before and they had done this to another content creator in the past. So my network knew somewhat what to do and they helped me out immensely through this. We reached out to YouTube and I responded to that lawyer with YouTube's response, more or less saying that our official policy is that gameplay cannot be a reference, but if a gameplay is re-uploaded, you can manually claim or issue takedown requests on that content. So to summarize, YouTube was somewhat siding with me here. Although YouTube wouldn't necessarily defend me, they were largely saying I was in the right. Again, my network kind of identified somewhat that they did this to another content creator. I don't know who, I'm not going to go into detail so much about that, but I can only imagine that situation must have been somewhat similar to mine. So either way, I contact them, then the lawyer starts dealing largely with my network, and he wasn't backing down. He was still pursuing this, and for quite a few days now, it seemed like that I was actually going to get sued. So after further discussion, I said, you know what, I don't need this headache. I have a student, I have to make sure my YouTube channel gets maintained, and I don't want to get sued. Even going to court would cost a lot of money. Even though a lot of people would say I would win this case, it would cost me thousands of dollars in the process, and even if I got that money back through countersuing or something like that, I would have to front thousands of dollars. So I made an offer to this lawyer. I said, I will retract my claim on 2 conditions. A, you don't use my content anymore in the future, or that of any other creators without proper, asking for permission first, or actually sourcing that accordingly. And in addition, that they would make a public apology to me and any other creators that they use the content or footage of without actually proper accreditation. And if they did both of those things, I would retract my claim. In response, this is when things got a little bit scary, or at least scary for me. They actually said that no, they're not going to do that, and they were transferring this file to legal counsel in California to actually assess the damages and move forward with suing me. So this went on for a few more days and I was very afraid. I was, oh my god, I'm getting sued. So I actually started to reach out to lawyers, look into how much this would cost, and I was largely prepared to go to court over this. I didn't want to just get bullied by a big company with seemingly unlimited resources, and I was prepared somewhat to fight this. I didn't want to just roll over and retract my claim, even though technically, according to what they said, even if I did that, I would still be on the hook for the damages. They also mentioned in that follow-up email that even though YouTube is siding with me, US copyright law doesn't, so they would be taking it to the court system because I wasn't allowed to do this according to the US copyright law, which is a very interesting area. I don't actually know if I'm totally allowed to do this or not. It doesn't seem like there is a clear precedent there, which was even scarier for me considering I thought I was going to court. So the story has a somewhat anticlimactic ending, or so I thought. And more or less after that, I got into contact with the actual head of the channel, The Gamer. Again, I was dealing with this point lawyers and a paralegal at the parent company Valnet, but my issue was with the YouTube channel, The Gamer, using my footage. And then following that, the head or the VP of that channel actually reached out to me on Skype. We talked about it, he apologized, and specifically what he said about the situation was, as a VP video of our company, I want to reassure you that we have taken note of the situation and made our freelance video creators aware of it. It is safe to say that we will not use your content as part of our content moving forward. It shouldn't have happened in the first place, but things clearly fell through the cracks. This seemed very genuine, it seemed like he was actually remorseful, and at this point I just wanted the situation to kind of be over with. And dealing with this guy who just seemed way more understanding about the situation, I was willing to let this whole thing stop and actually just say, alright, I'll retract the claim as long as he apologizes to me, and on the term that he really wasn't going to be using my content anymore, at least that's what he said. So I retracted the claim, everything was wonderful, and I actually, at this point, was actually just move on with life and continue doing YouTube and whatever. So about a week ago, I was thinking about this whole story and I was considering making a video on it. In that original video, I actually have a full video filmed. I didn't include any names. I think I mentioned Valnet maybe once, but I didn't want to include the name of the YouTube channel, The Gamer, because I didn't want any undue hate on them. Again, they seem like they genuinely made a mistake and we're working to rectify that. But after that, I kind of was like, you know what, maybe I don't want to get this video out there. Again, invariably people would have figured out it's the channel and I don't want them getting hate, so I actually shelved that video and have all the footage, but never actually did anything with it. Although, put this back in my mind. So today, as I was looking at different Fallout videos, as I do, to see what other people are making as far as Fallout 4 goes, I stumbled upon a video of The Gamer. And as I was watching through that video, I saw some of my video footage being used on a new video from The Gamer that was uploaded 5 days ago. So The Gamer, although at first I felt remorseful, and you seem genuinely remorseful, you're doing the exact same thing again. This time around, they're only using a few seconds of my footage, but it is my footage. I saw it and I knew it looked immensely familiar, so I actually spent about a half hour digging through my old videos to find when I actually filmed that. If you actually look through a lot of The Gamer's footage from Fallout 4 nowadays, it looks very similar to mine. I can't actually pinpoint all of them, but I'm going to go out on a whim and say some of the other stuff they uploaded is probably mine also, and other creators. None of this is being sourced, none of this has a accreditation in the description. Maybe they're asking everyone else and they just forgot to ask me, but I definitely did not give consent for them to use this footage in their video. I personally find this ridiculous. After everything that happened, it seemed like they genuinely changed their editing tactics and maybe would actually either start getting consent, giving credit, or something. In reality, what they did was got smarter. Now, instead of using large chunks of gameplay, as they used to do, and as they did with mine that got me to originally strike them, now they use very short clips. If you watch through a bunch of their gameplay, you're going to see maybe 2 to 3 seconds, and I think those 2 to 3 seconds are stolen. They're taking very short clips from a bunch of different videos, so someone like me can't come along and be like, hey, that's my video. If it's only 3 seconds of a 5-minute video, I don't have as strong a case as I did previously with a minute or two of a 7-minute video. The whole tone of this video was changed as a result of this revelation. The Gamer explicitly said they're not going to use my content anymore, and obviously that's not true. They seemingly did the exact same thing, searched on YouTube, found a video that they liked, and downloaded it to use it in there, that they then monetized and never gave me any credit in the process. Again, my issue here was credit, or at least that was my original issue. This time around, I'm probably not going to file a copyright strike, because again, it's only a few seconds, I have a much weaker case, but The Gamer is a YouTube channel that is seemingly stealing people's footage on YouTube to pretty much make up the backbone of some of their gameplay, at least in the Fallout 4 area. That's wrong, they're probably making thousands of dollars on this, and I wanted to make this video to actually talk about it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this whole situation. I'm pretty disappointed in it. I genuinely thought that they were going to move on and move past this, but they didn't. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.